Chosen one, this silence you are standing in is not emptiness. It is the holy pause between what was lost and what will be restored. You may think heaven has gone quiet, that your prayers have disappeared into the void. But listen, this quiet is sacred ground. It is not punishment, it is preparation. You are in the waiting room of restoration. Everything around you may look still, even lifeless. But underneath the surface, divine hands are moving unseen. The soil of your soul is being tilled for a new beginning. What looks like delay is design. What feels like absence is alignment. You are not forgotten, you are being fortified. Every tear that has touched your pillow was counted. Every sigh that left your chest became a whisper in heaven's courts. The same God who saw you in the fire is the one who now watches over your ashes, ready to breathe new life into them. Do not despise this quiet. Do not rush what God is forming in the dark. The silence is not the end, it is the womb of something miraculous. You have asked, "Why did I lose so much?" But heaven replies, "So I could give you what cannot be stolen." What you thought was taken was only being transferred into a realm beyond reach, secured until the appointed time. The moment of divine release is coming, and this calm before the wind is the sign that restoration is already on the way. There is a rhythm in heaven that often begins with stillness. The same stillness hovered over the waters before God spoke light into being. That same presence hovers now over your life, preparing to speak again, "Let there be." Soon, everything that was scattered will find its way back to you, not in fragments, but in fullness. You are not standing in ruins, you are standing in the blueprint of rebirth. Every brick of pain will become the foundation of your testimony. Every unanswered question will soon be resolved in revelation. God is not done writing your story. Chosen one, this chapter is only the setup for the restoration that will make every past wound worth it. Lift your head. The same God who parted seas and raised the dead has not forgotten your name. You are not disqualified by what you lost. You are being requalified by what you endured. This silence is heaven's seal that something sacred is taking shape. When the time comes, the wind will blow again, and the doors that once shut in your face will swing open at your presence. So, rest in this stillness. Let the quiet heal you. Let it remind you that the Creator of time never wastes it. You are being rebuilt in the unseen. And soon, your restoration will not whisper, it will roar. As the prophet wrote in the scroll of Isaiah, chapter 40, verse 31, "Those who hope in the Lord renew their strength. They soar like eagles. Run without weariness. Walk without fainting." This is your moment to breathe, to believe, and to align your heart again. If this message has reached the deep places of your spirit, then pause and let heaven know you are ready. Like this message, share it so another wandering heart can hear the same call. And subscribe so you never miss the next divine word sent for the chosen ones. Comment the number 777 below if you feel this is your confirmation that restoration is already on its way. Beloved, before you move on, take this moment and let your heart breathe again. You have carried so much, and heaven saw every silent battle. You are not behind schedule. You are not forgotten. What feels delayed is being perfectly timed for your unveiling. God has been protecting what belongs to you from premature exposure. Nothing that is meant for you can pass you by. Every promise is still alive. even if you cannot yet see the evidence. The silence you're standing in is not the absence of movement. It's the echo of a divine orchestration that will soon burst into sound. Look back for a moment. Chosen one. Remember the moments you thought you would never rise again, yet here you stand, breathing, still carrying light. That is proof that heaven's hand has never left you. The storm didn't destroy you, it revealed you. What you lost was never the end of your story. It was the turning of the page. You are being positioned for a comeback that will leave even your enemies in awe. Hold steady, for the next chapter will not be written in tears, but in triumph. Chosen one, this is your holy reminder. The night is not forever, and your dawn is already breaking. Keep watching, keep believing, keep preparing. The light that is coming will reveal why the silence had to last this long. When God restores, He doesn't simply replace, He multiplies. The blessing will be greater than the pain ever was. You didn't realize it. Chosen one. But while you mourned what was lost, heaven was already working. In the quiet corners of eternity, unseen hands were rebuilding everything that had been torn down. The moments you felt most abandoned were the very moments divine construction was underway. Restoration doesn't always announce itself with noise. Sometimes it comes disguised as stillness. You looked at your circumstances and saw nothing moving. But heaven saw the blueprint unfolding. The delay you felt wasn't a denial, it was divine design. For the foundation of what God is preparing must be laid deep and unshakable. And so, He hid His work from your eyes, not to punish you, but to protect what He was building within you. There are seasons when God must work behind the curtain, because if you saw everything too soon, you would not understand the masterpiece in motion. You would try to interrupt what must be completed in the secret place. The Lord was not silent. He was speaking in a different language, the language of rearranged doors, unexpected endings, and closed chapters. Every no you faced was a hidden yes. Every loss you endured was a quiet exchange for something eternal. Chosen one. While you were crying over broken pieces, heaven was fitting together a greater mosaic. The pain you experienced was never wasted. The tears watered seeds you didn't know existed. Every lonely night became a prayer written in light before the throne. And now, unseen roots have grown deep beneath your life, anchoring you for what's about to come. You may not see it yet, but the restoration has already begun. It is working its way toward you slowly, steadily, intentionally. The favor that seemed far away is turning its face back to you. Relationships that broke are being redeemed in divine timing. Opportunities that closed are preparing to reopen under new light. The God who saw you fall is orchestrating your rise. Heaven's construction zone doesn't look glamorous from the ground. Dust, noise, confusion, yet every hammer strike echoes purpose. What you thought was destruction was actually development. God was tearing down weak structures that could not sustain the glory He is about to place upon your life. What is coming requires stronger foundations, deeper roots, and clearer vision. You wondered why people left. You wondered why doors shut. You even wondered why your strength ran dry. But all of it was part of the hidden work, God removing what would not last, so you could finally hold what was meant for eternity. The pruning was painful, but it preserved your purpose. Heaven saw the attacks that came against you, the whispers, the betrayals, the quiet doubts. They were allowed only so you could see who truly stood beside you. You learned that divine isolation often precedes divine elevation. When God hides you, it is never rejection, it is refinement. You were hidden not to be forgotten but to be perfected. Right now, angels are arranging the very circumstances that will confirm your restoration. The path that seemed blocked will soon open in ways that leave you speechless. You will look back and realize that God was there in every silence, in every delay, in every detour. Nothing was random. Nothing was wasted. You may have been building with broken tools, but heaven is handing you new ones now. You are stepping into a season where what you create will not crumble. The same God who watched you weep will now watch you walk in wonder. The walls that once trapped you will become the stage of your testimony. Chosen one, hold still a little longer. The unseen work is reaching completion. What you cannot see today will soon become visible, tangible, undeniable. There will be a day, and it is closer than you think, when everything hidden will burst into light. You will say, "Now I understand why it had to happen this way." Heaven speaks clearly through the words in Deuteronomy, chapter 31, verse 6. Be strong and courageous, do not fear. The Lord goes with you, he will never leave nor forsake you. So stand firm. Chosen one, let this verse sink deep into your spirit. God is with you in the unseen, just as much as in the miracle that's coming. The silence you feel is filled with divine activity. Your restoration is not a dream, it's already in motion, hidden in plain sight, waiting for the perfect moment to reveal itself. Chosen one, there was a time when everything fell apart, and you could not understand why. You stood among the ruins of your expectations, watching what you built crumble in your hands. The dreams that once carried light suddenly felt heavy and hollow. You whispered prayers that seemed to vanish into the night. It felt like heaven had turned its face away, but it had not. That breaking was never your burial. It was your becoming. You see, God allows certain things to fall apart, not to destroy you, but to reveal what was never built to last. Some seasons must end so you can finally step into what is eternal. Every shattered plan, every closed door, every goodbye was clearing space for something holy to enter. You didn't lose because you failed. You lost because God was protecting you from counterfeit promises that could not hold your destiny. In your pain, you were being purified. The fire you walked through was not meant to consume you. It was designed to refine you. The shaking did not come to shame you, but to strengthen your foundation. What you lost may have looked precious, but what is being prepared is sacred. When God restores, he never returns things in the same condition. He resurrects them with glory attached. There were moments when you looked at your life and said, "I have nothing left." Yet heaven saw something different. Heaven saw a vessel emptied enough to be filled with divine power. You cannot pour fresh oil into an already full jar. Something had to be poured out for the new to come in. The heartbreaks, the betrayals, the disappointments, they emptied you of what could not stay so that heaven could fill you with what must. Chosen one, remember, this loss is never the end for the chosen. It is the reset before revelation. Every time you thought it was over, you were standing on the edge of a new beginning. Your story didn't collapse, it was rewritten by divine hands. God has been collecting every fragment of what broke, and he is weaving them into a tapestry more beautiful than what you once dreamed. You might have asked, why did they walk away? Why did it have to end? Because they could not go where God is taking you. Some connections were seasonal, and keeping them would have cost you your future. The breaking hurt, but it also freed you. The silence hurt, but it also taught you to hear the voice of God without distraction. What felt like abandonment was actually alignment. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Jeremiah. Chapter 30, verse 17, "For I will restore health to you and heal your wounds, declares the Lord, because they called you an outcast, saying, 'It is Zion. No one cares for her.' That is the promise written over your life: restoration, healing, redemption. What others rejected, God will rebuild. What the world said was finished, heaven says is only beginning. You are not defined by what you lost, but by what God is resurrecting in you now. When everything fell apart, something within you refused to die. That spark you felt, the one that kept you getting up when you wanted to give up, that was purpose. That was heaven's fingerprint on your spirit. The storm couldn't steal it, and the fire couldn't burn it away. It is proof that divine destiny still burns within you. Now, you are standing on holy ground, surrounded by the echoes of what used to be. But this time, the ruins don't represent defeat. They are reminders that even in destruction, God was with you. You are stronger now. You are wiser now. You have seen the face of suffering and survived it with grace. That is the mark of the chosen. You bend, but you do not break. Everything you lost will return, but not as it left. The relationships will come purified. The opportunities will come multiplied. The peace will come deeper. When restoration arrives, it will not resemble your past. It will reveal your promise. You will no longer mourn what ended. You will celebrate what began because of it. Look up. Chosen one. The sky that once felt heavy is clearing. The same God who allowed the breaking is now commanding the rebuilding. Your wilderness is becoming a garden again, watered by tears that once fell in sorrow, but will soon fall in gratitude. The ashes are turning to beauty, and your name is being whispered again in heaven's corridors. Now pause. Let this truth settle into your soul. The worst that happened will become the foundation of your best chapter yet. Comment, "I rise again." When you write those words, you are not typing out of emotion. You are declaring resurrection over your own spirit. You are prophesying that what fell apart will stand again, stronger than before. You are speaking alignment with heaven's plan, affirming that your breaking was not the end, but the threshold of glory. Type it as an act of faith, and watch how heaven responds. Chosen one, heaven has been keeping records. Every tear that fell from your eyes, every sleepless night, every betrayal, every unspoken ache, none of it has gone unnoticed. The God who counts the hairs on your head has also kept count of your sorrows. The pain you carried is not forgotten. It is accounted for in heaven's great ledger. You see, God has an accounting system, one not of coins or wealth, but of justice, mercy, and divine repayment. Every loss has a line written beside it. Every wound has a measure of restoration assigned. While you walked through your valleys thinking no one saw, heaven was marking every step. You thought you were walking alone, but angels were stationed around you, recording every moment of endurance, every act of faith, every time you chose to trust instead of turning away. The delay you endured was not negligence, it was calculation. Divine justice does not act impulsively, it acts precisely. The weight of what you have suffered will be balanced with glory beyond measure. Sometimes you wondered, why do others seem to prosper while I am left in pain? But what you didn't see was that God was adding interest to your restoration. The longer the delay, the greater the return. The years that felt wasted are being redeemed even now. For heaven never allows suffering without reward. There is a multiplication hidden in every season of lack. And when the balance is released, it will overflow. You have been walking through what looked like loss, but it was actually investment. Your faith under pressure became the currency of heaven. Every moment you trusted when it made no sense. Every time you worshipped while breaking. Every silent yes to God's will. All of it has been stored in a treasury of restoration, waiting for divine release. The scales are shifting now, and what you thought was gone forever is returning multiplied. Chosen one. Heaven's accounting is not only about what was taken from you, but also about who you became in the process. You grew in wisdom, in discernment, in power. You became refined by fire. What you lost externally was compensated internally. God was not ignoring your cries, He was depositing endurance into your spirit, the kind that cannot be stolen or corrupted. When you prayed, God, why is this happening? The answer was being written in eternity, so that I may repay you in full. Your story is not one of endless debt, but of divine reimbursement. For every friendship that betrayed you, divine loyalty will be revealed. For every opportunity that slipped away, a door 10 times greater will open. There are scales in heaven, and though they may appear still, they are never empty. They tilt at the appointed time, and when they do, everything that was lost begins to find its way back home. The enemy thought he could steal from you without consequence, but he underestimated divine law. What he took was recorded. According to what is revealed in the book of Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 21, be sure of this, the wicked will not go unpunished, but those who are righteous will go free. That is the assurance written over your life, the guarantee that no injustice will stand forever. The wrongs committed against you are already being addressed by heaven's court. The freedom you are about to experience is not random. It is the result of divine judgment working in your favor. You are not forgotten, and you are not waiting in vain. The scales are tipping toward you now. Chosen one. Every delay was a setup for distinction. God was waiting until the fullness of time, so that when He restores, no one can take credit for it but Him alone. When your restoration appears, it will silence every critic and confound every expectation. Those who once doubted you will bear witness to the God who keeps impeccable records. You will look back at the things that broke you and realize they were never meant to destroy you. They were meant to qualify you for greater authority. The pain that once weakened your voice will now empower it. The hands that once trembled from loss will now hold blessings beyond imagination. For in heaven's accounting, no faithful tare goes unpaid. Take a deep breath and understand your recompense is on the way. The same power that balanced justice for Joseph, Job, and David is now working for you. The invisible scales are moving. Restoration is not coming in fragments. It will arrive whole, abundant, overflowing. The Lord is not just giving you back what was taken, He is restoring time, opportunities, strength, and peace. The season of imbalance is ending. The divine accounts are being reconciled. You will soon testify that not only did God remember you, but He repaid you in ways that exceeded reason. The story of your loss will become the evidence of His justice. And when you walk in the fullness of what is being released, you will say with certainty, He truly restores. So, rest. Chosen one, heaven's arithmetic never fails. What is written in the books of God cannot be erased by the hands of man. The balance has been struck, and your name is being called for release. The season of divine repayment is already unfolding quietly, perfectly, right on time. Chosen one, you have walked through nights that seem to have no end. Yet here you are, still breathing, still believing, still standing. The heavens are shifting now, and a divine exchange is beginning to unfold. You are stepping into the season of divine exchange, the holy moment when mourning gives birth to joy, when ashes become beauty, and when loss transforms into legacy. Every pain you carried was currency in the unseen world. Every tear watered a seed that heaven planted long before you were aware of it. You thought you were losing, but in truth, you were sowing. And now, the ground beneath your feet is trembling with resurrection. What once buried you will now bloom through you. There is a sacred exchange taking place. Your sorrow is trading places with strength, your confusion with clarity, your emptiness with divine abundance. This is not just recovery, it is transformation. God never gives back the same measure. He returns with overflow. Where you once stood in ashes, you will now dance in fragrance. Where you once felt abandoned, you will now feel anointed. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms. Chapter 30, verse 5, weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Your morning is breaking. Chosen one, you are standing in the first light of a new dawn. You may not feel ready, but heaven has already declared, it is time. You will soon see how every tear you cried became a river that carried your destiny closer to fulfillment. But this divine exchange isn't just about you, it flows through you. What God restores in you becomes nourishment for others. You are like a lamp that was once dimmed by grief, now trimmed, refilled, and relit to shine into other people's darkness. Every time you share your story, light travels farther than you realize. Someone in silence, somewhere in pain, finds hope again because you dared to speak. That is part of the exchange. God heals you, and through your healing, others begin to live. Imagine your heart as a vessel once cracked by sorrow. God doesn't replace it. He fills every fracture with gold. Just as Japanese artisans repair broken pottery with veins of gold, your story too is being gilded by grace. The cracks no longer represent damage, they become proof of transformation. When light passes through, it shines brighter because of where it was once broken. That's what divine exchange looks like. Brokenness becoming beauty, emptiness becoming elegance, weakness becoming witness. And now, as this light grows, you have a role to play in spreading it. When you like, share, or subscribe, you are not performing an empty digital act. You are helping the message travel through unseen highways of the soul. Each interaction becomes a spark that lights another heart. You become part of heaven's algorithm, the one not powered by machines, but by faith. When you pass this message forward, you are saying, let this light reach one more wandering soul. And if this word has stirred something deep within you, something that whispers, I want to see more lives touched the way mine has been, then consider planting a seed of support. Think of it not as giving away, but as participating in the divine exchange. Just as farmers sow to see a harvest, your contribution waters this mission so that the voice of truth can continue to reach those who feel forgotten. The act of giving, even a small one, becomes like a drop in a still pond, creating ripples that travel far beyond your sight. You may never meet the soul who finds peace because of your gift, but heaven will remember. For every hand that gives with sincerity, a window opens in heaven, and favor flows both ways. Chosen one, you have been through seasons where you had nothing to give but faith. Now, God is positioning you to become the vessel that pours out encouragement, healing, and provision for others. Every gesture of love, every shared message, every moment you help another believer rise, these are offerings more valuable than gold. So take a deep breath and recognize where you are standing. The ground beneath you is holy. The night has passed, and morning is stretching its arms across your sky. You are walking into a season where every act of faith, no matter how small, multiplies in divine measure. This is your exchange, the moment when your mourning becomes melody, your loss becomes legacy, and your story becomes a stream of life for others. You are not just restored, you are being redefined. You are not merely surviving, you are sowing into something eternal. The heavens have already begun the transaction. The divine ledger has been opened, and your name is written upon it not as one who lost, but as one who was chosen to receive beauty for ashes. So walk forward, radiant and ready. The season of divine exchange has begun, and heaven has declared, the balance is now in your favor. Chosen one. The atmosphere around you is shifting. Heaven is sending signals, small, almost invisible signs that restoration is about to manifest. You have felt it in your spirit lately, that subtle stirring, that quiet awareness that something greater is approaching. These are not coincidences, they are confirmations. When God begins to restore, He often whispers before He roars. You might notice divine patterns, a sudden peace after months of anxiety, a door reopening that once shut, a random reminder of a dream you thought had died. These are heaven's hints, soft echoes of a coming change. The universe itself bends to announce when God moves in your favor. Every gust of wind, every unexpected message, every moment that feels strangely aligned, all of it is heaven saying, prepare, it's time. The Spirit spoke once through His prophet, and those words still resonate today in Joel. Chapter 2, verse 25. I will restore to you the years that the locust has eaten, the great locust, the young locust, the other locust, and the locust swarm, my great army that I sent among you. That verse is not history, it's prophecy alive inside you. It means the years that felt stolen, wasted, or broken are now being reclaimed. Time itself is being rewritten in your favor. The seasons that looked like loss will soon be renamed as preparation. You thought you were behind, but heaven has recalibrated your clock. You are right on time. When restoration begins, it doesn't always arrive with thunder. Sometimes it comes in whispers, in symbols, in the stillness after prayer. It arrives in the unexpected reconciliation, the sudden opportunity, the random conversation that reawakens something buried in your soul. These are not accidents, they are divine appointments. Heaven is orchestrating your steps so subtly that you will only see the pattern once the masterpiece is complete. Chosen one. Don't dismiss the little things. God often hides destiny in the details. A delay, a detour, a seemingly ordinary moment may be the hinge on which your future swings open. The signs are around you even now, dreams resurfacing, burdens lifting, light returning to your eyes. Heaven is giving you previews of restoration so that your spirit learns to expect it before it arrives. You might wonder, but how will I know for sure? The answer is peace. Not the peace that comes from comfort, but the peace that makes no sense, the peace that sits quietly in your chest even when the world around you shakes. That peace is heaven's announcement that the promise is already in motion. When your spirit grows calm in the middle of chaos, know that restoration has already begun. Remember, chosen one. Signs often appear when you least expect them. You may be scrolling, walking, or sitting in silence, and suddenly a word, a song, or a number captures your attention. That is heaven tapping you on the shoulder, reminding you that you are not forgotten. Divine communication doesn't always shout, it sometimes hums. You have endured enough seasons of waiting. Now the season of recognition begins. Heaven is reintroducing you to the life you were meant to live. Everything that left your hands is returning in purified form. Every closed door will reopen under new light. Every barren field will bloom again. The signs around you are heaven's way of saying, your restoration is in motion. Watch closely. And when you begin to see those signals, don't ignore them. Acknowledge them. Celebrate them. Speak life over them. Every word you declare in faith becomes a bridge between what is promised and what is visible. When you say, I receive it, heaven hears. When you say, I believe, the winds begin to move in your favor. The time has come for you to step into alignment with what heaven is showing you. Look beyond the surface, see with spiritual eyes. What seems small now will soon multiply into something magnificent. The patterns of your past pain are dissolving, and new patterns of promise are forming in their place. Chosen one. Listen carefully. Restoration is not waiting for a date, it is waiting for your agreement. The moment you say, yes, Lord, I receive, the gates begin to swing open. This is your prophetic moment, your confirmation that the drought is over and rain is on the horizon. Pause for a moment now. Reflect. You know this is for you, you can feel it. The timing, the words, the stillness inside it all aligns. Heaven has interrupted your routine to remind you that restoration is no longer a faraway promise. It is a present reality unfolding before your eyes. So, as a prophetic act of faith, comment the number 444 below. That number symbolizes open doors, divine order, and heavenly protection. When you write it, you are not just typing, you are aligning your spirit with the rhythm of restoration. You are saying, I recognize the signs, I accept the timing, I am ready for what's next. Let heaven see your faith. Let the unseen know you are aware. Restoration is here. Chosen one. The tide has turned. You may not have seen it yet, but heaven has already issued a decree. Your reversal has begun. The very forces that once opposed you are now working unknowingly for your benefit. The tables are turning in your favor, and the wind that once pushed against you is now carrying you forward. There comes a moment in every divine story when the pattern shifts. It is the moment when God says, "Enough." The very situation that was meant to break you becomes the soil of your breakthrough. The ashes that once clung to you fall away, revealing something purer underneath. What once looked like punishment will soon be seen as preparation. This is that moment for you. You have endured seasons where everything seemed to move backward, relationships collapsing, finances drying up, opportunities fading. You thought you were losing ground. But heaven was merely replanting your roots deeper so you could rise higher. What was taken from you was never lost. It was being relocated to a higher dimension of grace. The enemy hoped your faith would fail in the waiting, but instead, it became your weapon. Every moment you refused to surrender became a spiritual reversal point. The strength you forged in silence is now calling forth justice. Heaven has been watching, and divine law has responded. The season of subtraction has ended, and the time of multiplication begins. The voice of God thundered once in the book of Exodus, chapter 14, verse 14. "The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still." Those words are not distant. They are alive right now in your circumstance. You do not have to fight for your reversal. It is already written. God Himself has taken up your case. He is not negotiating with your pain. He is dismantling it. What seemed immovable will crumble at His command. What looked final will suddenly shift. Chosen one. Imagine the story of Joseph. Betrayed, imprisoned, forgotten yet in one moment. The very system that confined him called him forward to rule. That is the nature of divine reversal. It comes without warning, without logic, and without explanation. When God moves, He doesn't simply restore, He redefines. You won't return to where you were. You will rise to where you were meant to be. There is a mystery in how God turns everything. The betrayal that broke your heart becomes the bridge that carries you to destiny. The storm that scared you clears the path no one else could walk. Even the closed doors that frustrated you were divine diversions, steering you toward the right one. When heaven reverses a situation, it doesn't just change circumstances, it changes you. 2. You have learned endurance, humility, and discernment. You have discovered what truly matters and what no longer does. That wisdom, forged in fire, is the treasure you carry into this new season. You are no longer the person who entered the storm. You are the one who walked through it and came out radiant with revelation. The reversal will not only be seen in external blessings, but also in internal peace. The same memories that once triggered pain will soon trigger praise. The very places where you were rejected will become the scenes of your recognition. People who once doubted you will witness your divine elevation and realize they were standing before a miracle in motion. This is what God does. He flips the narrative. He takes what was meant for harm and turns it into harmony. He takes defeat and weaves it into destiny. You may have felt forgotten, but heaven was simply writing a story that required the tension of time. Every delay was divine timing disguised as disappointment. Chosen one. The reversal begins quietly. It might appear in subtle blessings at first, a message of reconciliation, a sudden idea, a shift in atmosphere. But soon, the quiet will give way to the visible. Restoration will come rushing in, and you will realize that nothing was wasted. Every heartbreak, every detour, every silent night, all of it conspired to bring you to this moment. And when it fully unfolds, you will not boast in your strength. You will simply lift your hands and say, It was God, because only He can turn ashes into art, pain into purpose, and delay into destiny. So, breathe deeply. Chosen one, the turning has already started. What once pressed you down will now propel you forward. The same ground that held your tears will soon bloom with joy. You are walking into a season where everything that worked against you will begin to work for you. Heaven's reversal is not pending, it is active. Stand tall, even if your knees tremble. The Lord who began this work will finish it in glory. You don't have to strive for the turning, you only have to stand still long enough to witness it. The winds have changed direction, and grace now moves with your name upon it. The reversal is here. Chosen one. Restoration rarely arrives through the doors you expect. God delights in using the unlikely people, places, and moments that seem insignificant to deliver the extraordinary. You may look for help from those you once trusted, but heaven often reroutes the blessing through unfamiliar hands. The divine plan seldom follows human logic. It bends reality in ways that reveal only God could have orchestrated it. The people who once ignored you may soon become the ones assigned to help you rise. The conversations you thought were random may contain divine clues. The encounters that seem accidental might be angels in disguise. God works through unexpected deliverers, vessels who carry keys to the next chapter of your story, unaware of the role they play. Consider Ruth, a widow in a foreign land, gathering leftovers in the fields. She had no idea that her obedience in obscurity would lead her into divine alignment with Boaz, her Redeemer. Or think of Moses, a fugitive tending sheep, unaware that he was standing on the mountain that would ignite his calling. This is how heaven moves silently, strategically, through the ordinary moments that shape extraordinary destinies. The Apostle reminds us in his letter to the Corinthians, chapter 1, verse 27, "But God chose the foolish things of the world to shame the wise. God chose the weak things of the world to shame the strong." Those words are living truth. The same pattern continues today. God takes what seems unqualified and turns it into undeniable proof of His power. The ones the world overlooks are the very instruments heaven selects. That's why you, chosen one, have felt invisible at times. It wasn't rejection, it was divine concealment. You were being reserved for the right moment, the right mission, and the right partnership. You are entering a season where divine helpers will begin to appear. Some will look nothing like what you expected. They won't come with halos or titles, but with wisdom, favor, or opportunity that aligns perfectly with your assignment. You will recognize them not by appearance, but by the peace they carry. Every conversation will feel like confirmation. Every connection will unlock a step forward. These unlikely deliverers are answers to prayers you thought went unheard. Heaven has been preparing them while you waited. Some of them faced their own storms so they could understand yours. Others were strategically positioned in places you could never reach alone. Together, you will form divine alignments that accelerate what once seemed delayed. Chosen one. Don't dismiss what seems too simple. Miracles often hide behind mundane gestures, a phone call, a chance meeting, a sudden idea at dawn. Sometimes deliverance arrives wrapped in discomfort, because God uses pressure to push you toward provision. What looks inconvenient may actually be the vehicle carrying your breakthrough. You are being guided into divine intersections, moments where heaven and earth overlap, where the right person appears at the right time with the right word. You will know it because your spirit will feel it. There will be a peace that surpasses understanding, a quiet certainty that says, "This is not random." The beauty of divine restoration is that it requires community, not isolation. You are not called to rebuild alone. The same God who healed your solitude is now weaving you into a tapestry of purpose with others who carry pieces of your destiny. Each connection will reflect another facet of God's plan, some to encourage, some to teach, some to open doors, and some simply to walk beside you through the new. You will also become an unlikely deliverer for someone else. Out of your story will flow strength for those still in their storms. Your words will become medicine. Your scars will become maps. The same God who sent help to you will send you to help others. Restoration never ends with the recipient, it multiplies through them. Do not underestimate the divine choreography taking place around you. Even now, names are being whispered in rooms where you are not present. Your reputation, refined by time and truth, is preceding you. Opportunities are being stirred, hearts are being softened, and doors are being unlocked. God is aligning strangers and situations to favor your purpose. And when it happens, when the unlikely begins to unfold, stand still in awe. You'll recognize that no human strategy could have produced what grace has arranged. What once seemed like coincidence will reveal itself as providence. The pattern will make sense in hindsight, and gratitude will replace confusion. Chosen one, heaven does not forget its promises. Every helper, every messenger, every divine connection has already been appointed. Your story is converging with others in ways that will astonish you. What was lost will be restored, not through the familiar, but through the miraculous disguised as ordinary life. Walk with open eyes and a tender heart. The answers you seek may not shout, they may whisper through unexpected voices. Watch closely, for the next chapter of your restoration is already walking toward you, clothed in surprise. Chosen one, every great restoration faces resistance. The moment heaven declares increase, hell releases opposition. You may have felt that pressure, the sudden obstacles, the unexplained delays, the invisible weight pressing against your progress. It's not coincidence, it's spiritual warfare. The spirit of delay has tried to hold your promise hostage, but its grip is loosening even now. Delay is the enemy's attempt to drain your faith before fulfillment arrives. It whispers lies like, maybe it's not meant for you, or maybe you missed your moment. But hear this clearly, you have not missed what God ordained. Delay does not cancel destiny, it tests endurance. Heaven allows the waiting not to weaken you, but to sharpen your discernment. What takes longer to build lasts longer when it arrives. You are not fighting against time, you are aligning with timing. Divine timing is never late, it is precise. Just as the stars appear only when night falls, your breakthrough will appear at its appointed hour. And when it does, it will not trickle in, it will flood in. The spirit of delay may slow motion, but it cannot stop manifestation. The prophet Daniel knew this kind of resistance. His prayers were heard the moment he spoke them, but an unseen battle in the heavens delayed their delivery. Still, the answer came. The same principle applies to you now. Your prayers have not been ignored. They are simply traveling through warfare. Heaven has already issued the command. The delay is breaking even as you read these words. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Habakkuk. Chapter 2, verse 3. For the vision awaits its time, though it tarry. Wait for it, It will surely come. It will not delay. This is your confirmation. The appointed time has already been written. The promise is not lost, it's maturing. Sometimes, the delay is not about what's coming, it's about who you're becoming while you wait. God uses time as a tool, shaping your character to carry the weight of what's next. A premature blessing can destroy a fragile heart, but a seasoned heart can sustain divine glory. So, chosen one, don't curse the delay, command it to release its lesson. What you've endured has refined your patience, sharpened your vision, and deepened your dependence on God. You are no longer waiting the same way you used to. Now you wait with authority. You know who you are. You understand that silence does not equal abandonment. It means the strategy is unfolding. Look back at every delay that once frustrated you. Can you see how it protected you? The door that didn't open wasn't rejection, it was redirection. The plan that fell apart wasn't failure, it was filtration. God removed what could not endure your future. What remains is pure, unshakable, and aligned. The spirit of delay also tries to isolate you, convincing you that no one understands your waiting. But heaven has witnesses, angels, intercessors, and unseen allies fighting on your behalf. Every time you worship instead of worrying, you weaken the power of that spirit. Every time you speak faith instead of fear, you accelerate divine movement. The atmosphere responds to your words. Your voice carries authority. You are not behind, you are being calibrated. The timeline of your life is synchronized with eternity, not human expectation. The moment the test ends, the tide will turn swiftly. What took years to build will shift in days. The delay will not outlast your obedience. Now breathe. Feel the stillness around you. The war in the unseen is nearing resolution. The obstacles that once loomed like mountains are shrinking into stepping stones. Your faith has outlasted the resistance. Heaven is declaring victory over what tried to hold you captive. When you sense that the pressure is lifting, don't forget what this season taught you. Trust the slow work of God. For in the waiting, He built endurance in the silence. He built intimacy in the delay. He built destiny. You are emerging not only with restoration, but with spiritual authority that no delay can challenge again. Now, as an act of faith, seal this revelation with your declaration. Comment, "No more delay." When you write those words, you are not begging heaven, you are agreeing with it. You are declaring that the spirit of delay has lost jurisdiction over your life. Those words are not mere text, they are a key, unlocking acceleration in the unseen. Every time you declare them, you remind both heaven and hell that your timeline belongs to God alone. Stand firm. Chosen one, the wait is over. The promise is approaching, steady and unstoppable. What once felt stalled is now in motion. The spirit of delay has been confronted, and your restoration will arrive right on time. Chosen one, there are moments when heaven decides to speak your name again, louder, clearer, and with purpose. For too long, you felt overlooked, forgotten, or buried under seasons that silenced your potential. But the time of divine remembrance has come. Heaven is calling your name back into circulation. What was hidden is being announced. What was delayed is being delivered. There is a stirring in the spiritual realm. Your name is being mentioned in rooms you've never entered, in hearts you've never met. and in opportunities you never pursued. Divine remembrance does not depend on reputation. It depends on God's timing. When He decides to remember you, no man, system, or circumstance can silence that call. You may have thought that the years of obscurity were wasted, but they were sacred. While you waited in the shadows, heaven was building your credibility in places unseen. Just as Joseph was summoned from a prison to a palace in a single day, you too are standing on the threshold of sudden recognition. Your faithfulness has not been forgotten. The ancient words recorded in the book of Genesis, chapter 41, verse 14, declare, Pharaoh sent and called Joseph. They brought him quickly from the dungeon. He shaved and changed and came before Pharaoh. That verse mirrors what heaven is doing for you right now. You are being called out of the waiting room and into divine presentation. The season of obscurity is closing, and the season of visibility is opening. The same God who remembered Joseph is remembering you. Chosen one. Think of a seed buried beneath the soil. For months, it appears forgotten. No one sees its struggle, its stretching, its silent growth. Yet under the surface, it is breaking, expanding, preparing. And then, suddenly, one morning, it pushes through the ground, visible, vibrant, unstoppable. That's you. Your unseen obedience is now breaking the surface. When heaven remembers, everything responds. People begin to recall your name for opportunities they once overlooked. Favor finds you in unfamiliar places. Ideas flow effortlessly. The same hands that once closed against you begin to open. Divine remembrance doesn't just bring visibility, it brings validation. You are being publicly confirmed for what heaven already knew privately. You are chosen. This is also the moment to become a vessel for that same light. When you like, share, and subscribe, you're not just supporting a message, you're helping the sound of remembrance reach others still lost in silence. Every action is a ripple in the waters of purpose. Someone on the edge of giving up may find this very word because of your simple act of sharing. And if this message has awakened something deep in your spirit, consider becoming part of the flow that sustains it. When you donate, you are planting seeds in fertile ground. You're not giving to a person, you're giving into purpose. Just as rivers must be fed by streams, this message continues to reach hearts because of those who pour into it. Each seed you sow keeps the current moving, allowing more souls to hear the voice of hope. Imagine your gift as a lantern placed on a path at night. You may never meet the traveler who walks that path, but your light will guide them safely through their darkness. That is the power of partnership with heaven's work. It multiplies beyond what the eye can see. Chosen one. Your remembrance is not just about your own story. It's about the stories that will be rewritten because of yours. The same way Joseph's promotion preserved a nation, your breakthrough will preserve others. God never lifts a person for personal glory. He lifts them to become a bridge for others to cross. You are stepping into a phase where your presence will carry divine impact. Your words will heal. Your testimony will inspire. And your life will become proof that God never forgets His own. This remembrance is not just about restoration, it's about purpose being reignited. So, lift your head. Radiant one, you are not forgotten, you are being reintroduced. The same heavens that once seemed silent now echo with your name. The same earth that once felt hard beneath your feet is preparing to celebrate your footsteps. And as this message reaches you, Remember, it is not by coincidence. This is divine timing. The God who remembered Joseph has looked upon you with favor. Step forward with humility, with courage, and with faith that what begins now will ripple through generations. You were never lost, you were being refined. You were never overlooked, you were being prepared. Heaven has called your name again, and the sound of it will not fade until your destiny is fulfilled. Chosen one, the greatest beauty often blooms from the deepest brokenness. What once shattered your spirit is now becoming the soil from which your strength grows. You have walked through valleys where hope was scarce, through nights where tears were your only prayer, and through seasons that stripped away everything familiar. Yet, here you stand still, breathing, still believing, still carrying light. That endurance is sacred proof that God has been with you all along. The beauty of brokenness is not in the pain itself, but in what the pain reveals. It exposes the places within you that cannot be sustained by human strength alone. It teaches humility, compassion, and surrender. The cracks in your heart have become openings for divine light to enter. What once seemed like destruction has transformed into holy design. There was a time you thought your heart would never recover from what it endured. You questioned how something so fragile could ever be whole again. But restoration is not about returning to who you were. It's about becoming who you were meant to be. God does not glue your pieces together to hide the damage. He remakes you entirely, weaving grace into every fracture until your scars shine like gold. Think of the ancient art of kintsugi, where broken pottery is mended with gold. The object becomes more valuable after being restored than it was when whole. That is the truth of your spirit. Every scar is a story of survival. Every wound, now healed, radiates wisdom and compassion. Your pain did not disfigure you, it distinguished you. You carry marks that darkness cannot counterfeit, because they were earned in battle and redeemed in mercy. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms. Chapter 34, verse 18, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit." Those words are your anthem. Chosen one. They are the melody of mercy that has followed you through every season of grief. God was never distant during your pain. He was closest in the breaking. The very moments that felt like abandonment were often the times His arms held you most tightly. When everyone else walked away, heaven stayed. You are learning that brokenness was never a curse, it was a calling. It drew you into the depths of divine intimacy where few dare to go. It taught you to recognize the quiet voice of God not in thunder, but in the whisper between tears. Through brokenness, your heart has become a sanctuary, a place where the Spirit can dwell freely. Now, you are no longer defined by what hurt you, but by what healed you. The memories that once stung now carry lessons. The people who once wounded you have become instruments of your growth. The disappointments that seemed unbearable have transformed into divine direction. You are not the victim of your story, you are the vessel of its redemption. Chosen one, let your brokenness speak. Do not hide the scars that prove your survival. Tell your story not as tragedy, but as testimony. Every word you share carries the fragrance of deliverance. Someone somewhere needs to know that beauty can grow out of ashes, that they too can rise. Your transparency becomes their hope. Your restoration becomes their prophecy. Even now, heaven looks upon you and sees a mosaic, each piece, once shattered, now arranged with purpose. Your beauty is not in perfection, but in redemption. The world may value the unbroken, but heaven delights in the restored. The strength you carry was not bought cheaply. It was forged in the fire of faith. You have walked through storms that others couldn't survive. Yet your heart remains tender. That is divine artistry. To remain kind after cruelty, hopeful after heartbreak, faithful after failure, that is the highest form of strength. You embody grace under fire, light in the midst of ruin. Do not rush past this season of revelation. Sit with your scars and recognize what they truly are, living proof of God's ability to transform suffering into glory. You have not only healed, you have become a healer. What once broke you has now become your ministry. The same hands that trembled in pain are now instruments of restoration. Chosen one, remember this truth. Brokenness is not the end of your story. It is the birthplace of your purpose. When God rebuilds, He never replicates the old. He constructs something entirely new, something that reflects His nature. You are that masterpiece, refined, radiant, and redeemed. Walk in peace now. You are no longer fragile glass, you are tempered gold. The cracks remain, but they no longer represent loss. They are veins of grace, flowing with light. And as you move forward, may every step remind you that your pain was never wasted. It was preparation for the glory now unfolding within you. Chosen one, there are moments when heaven's abundance doesn't just restore, it multiplies. You are standing on the edge of such a moment now. This is not a season of mere recovery. It is the multiplication miracle. When God takes what was broken, forgotten, and delayed, and returns it to you in overflowing measure. The same hands that allowed loss are now releasing increase. You are about to see how heaven turns scarcity into surplus, and mourning into momentum. You once prayed for enough, but God is answering with more than enough. What's coming is not a replacement of what you lost, it's a revelation of how much greater His plan has always been. You thought you were waiting for restoration, but heaven was preparing you for multiplication. Restoration gives you back what was taken. Multiplication gives you what you never imagined. Think of the 5 loaves and 2 fish in the hands of Jesus. In human eyes, it was insufficient, barely a meal for one. But when heaven touched it, it became a feast for thousands. That is what happens when God breathes upon what you have left. What seems too small becomes limitless. What seems broken becomes blessed. You may have fragments now, but in the hands of the divine, those fragments will feed nations. As Jesus Himself declared in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 6, verse 38, "Give, and it will be given to you, a good measure, pressed down, shaken together and running over, will be poured into your lap. For with the measure you use, it will be measured to you." There is a sacred principle in motion. What you release becomes what you receive. The energy you sow in faith returns multiplied. The prayers you whispered in secret are now echoing in heaven's corridors. You are about to step into the harvest of your obedience. The years that looked barren were not empty. They were germinating miracles underground. Chosen one, this multiplication is not random, it is reward. God saw how you kept moving forward when the world said stop. He saw your integrity in private, your compassion in hardship, your endurance in disappointment. Every unseen act of faith has been accounted for. And now, the divine scale tilts in your favor. Blessings are about to find you faster than you can chase them. But remember, multiplication is not only material. It flows in every form of abundance, peace multiplied after chaos, joy multiplied after sorrow, revelation multiplied after silence. The same Spirit who restores your resources is also renewing your strength, refreshing your creativity, and enlarging your influence. You are being trusted with more because you proved faithful with little. The fields that once yielded nothing are about to overflow. Ideas that once seemed impossible will now produce fruit. The connections that felt stagnant will begin to flourish. God is not only restoring your garden, He is expanding your territory. The rivers of favor are widening, and you are being positioned to carry overflow to others. Do not fear the magnitude of what's coming. Sometimes abundance feels unfamiliar because you've been trained by struggle. You've learned to survive on crumbs, but heaven is inviting you to feast. This new chapter will require you to think differently, to expect increase, to speak multiplication, to live as someone who carries divine overflow. When the harvest comes, it won't arrive in silence, it will come with sound, joyful sound. Testimonies will surround you. People will look at your life and realize that only God could have multiplied what you had left. Even your enemies will have to admit, "The Lord has done this." Chosen one, do not resist the overflow. You have paid the price of preparation. Now comes the reward of release. What once felt like drought will now rain abundance. What once looked empty will overflow until you can no longer contain it. Heaven's math does not add, it multiplies. And when that increase arrives, don't hoard it, honor it. Use it to bless, to build, to lift others higher. You are not receiving overflow just to live comfortably. You are receiving it to live purposefully. The miracle doesn't end with you, it begins with you. Your cup runs over so that others may drink from the stream of your blessing. Let this truth settle deep in your spirit. Every subtraction you endured was the setup for supernatural multiplication. You are about to recover with interest. Everything that left your hands will return with divine bonus attached. Now pause, breathe, and receive this confirmation. The very fact that you are reading these words is evidence that heaven is ready to multiply what you have left. This is your appointed moment. As an act of faith, comment the number 555 below. That number represents divine grace, multiplied favor upon favor, blessing upon blessing, acceleration upon alignment. When you write it, you are saying to heaven, I receive my overflow. I am ready for the miracle to multiply. Let that number become your declaration of abundance, a signal to the unseen realm that you are prepared for what's next. Your cup is about to overflow. Chosen one, get ready to live in the rhythm of multiplication. The drought is over. The downpour begins now. Chosen one, before every great restoration is complete, there must come exposure. Not exposure meant to shame, but exposure meant to protect. For what God restores, He also purifies. In this sacred process, false alliances, counterfeit blessings, and hidden intentions are brought into the light so they can no longer corrupt what heaven is building in you. You have begun to notice it, the quiet shifting of relationships, the sudden distance of people who once stood close, the unease that rises when certain voices speak. It is not paranoia, it is discernment. The Spirit of truth is revealing what was disguised. For too long, you carried attachments that looked like blessings, but were actually burdens in disguise. Now, Heaven is severing ties that no longer serve your destiny. Exposure is a mercy. God never uncovers to embarrass, He uncovers to heal, to protect, to realign. What He exposes now is what could have destroyed your restoration later. Every lie revealed is a chain broken. Every truth uncovered is a step closer to purity of purpose. The people who cannot walk with you into this next season are being gently released, not because they are evil, but because their chapter in your story has closed. There is a strange kind of grace in loss. When God removes, He replaces. When He exposes, He upgrades. The light that uncovers deceit also reveals direction. You will soon understand why certain things had to end. The silence of some people, the betrayal of others, the confusion of recent months, they were all divine signals guiding you away from danger. Heaven is not punishing you, it is purifying your path. The Spirit spoke once through the Apostle in the first letter of John, chapter 4, verse 1, "Dear friends, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they are from God, because many false prophets have gone out into the world." Chosen one, do not mourn the distance growing between you and certain people. It is not rejection, it is refinement. The higher you rise, the fewer can accompany you. Like a mountain, the summit grows narrower the closer you reach the top. Not every companion of the valley can breathe in the altitude of your calling. Let go without bitterness. Forgive without returning. Trust that what departs now creates room for divine replacement later. You are learning that peace is more valuable than popularity, and truth is more precious than comfort. The Spirit of God is establishing boundaries where there were once breaches. You no longer have to explain yourself to those who choose not to see. You no longer have to fight to prove your heart. Your purity of purpose will speak louder than any defense. This exposure is not limited to people, it extends to patterns, old habits, limiting beliefs, secret fears. God is illuminating them so they can no longer sabotage your progress. The same light that reveals deception also heals self-deception. You are being liberated not just from others, but from the parts of yourself that aligned with your pain instead of your promise. Chosen one, the season of spiritual fog is ending. Clarity is returning like dawn after a long night. You will begin to see things for what they are, not what they pretend to be. What once confused you will soon make sense. The manipulations that once drained you will lose their power. God is teaching you to recognize truth by the peace it carries. When you walk into this next chapter, you will do so lighter without the unnecessary weight of counterfeit connections. You will feel free in a way you haven't in years. Your prayers will feel clearer. Your creativity will flow unhindered. Your discernment will sharpen. You will finally be surrounded by people who see your value, not your vulnerability. And remember, this exposure is not destruction, it is construction. When God removes foundations that looked stable but were secretly cracked, He is making room for something indestructible. The shaking is not a sign of failure, it is proof of building. Every truth revealed strengthens the structure of your destiny. The days ahead will bring new alliances, genuine, Spirit-led, purpose-filled connections that will align perfectly with your assignment. These are people of depth, humility, and integrity. They will not drain you, they will develop you. You will know them by their fruit, by the peace they bring, by how your spirit feels stronger, not smaller, in their presence. Let go of what fades. Chosen one, hold on to what is eternal. The exposure of counterfeits is one of the greatest blessings heaven can give. It spares you from years of unnecessary pain and positions you for partnerships that accelerate your destiny. You are entering a season of purified connections, sanctified focus, and protected peace. No more energy wasted on pretending. No more confusion over who is for you and who is not. The truth has come, and with it, freedom. Walk forward now with clarity. The false has fallen away, and only the genuine remains. This is what it means to be refined by light, to walk in truth, surrounded by those who were meant to walk beside you from the beginning. Chosen one, every restoration comes with a mantle. It is not merely a return of what was lost, it is an upgrade of authority, a new weight of anointing placed upon your spirit. What you carried before cannot compare to what is being placed upon you now. The trials that once threatened to crush you have prepared you to carry something sacred, something powerful, something that will mark you for the rest of your days. This is the mantle of restoration, and it is not given lightly. It is reserved for those who endured faithfully through the furnace of affliction. You did not merely survive your season of loss, you were refined by it. The fires that burned away your comfort also purified your character. Heaven does not clothe the untested with power, for authority without humility becomes dangerous. But you, chosen one, you were forged in the fire. And now you are ready to wear what only the purified can bear. A mantle represents divine transfer. In Scripture, when Elijah's time came to ascend, he left behind his mantle a physical symbol of prophetic power and spiritual inheritance. Elisha, standing beneath that falling garment, caught it and stepped into his new identity. One moment, he was a servant, the next, a prophet. That is the mystery of mantles. They transform ordinary obedience into extraordinary purpose. The Spirit spoke through the second book of Kings, chapter 2, verse 15. When the sons of the prophets who were watching saw him, they said, "The spirit of Elijah rests on Elisha." And they went to meet him and bowed to the ground before him. That same pattern now unfolds in your life. The mantle you receive will cause others to recognize something divine resting upon you. The authority you once sought through effort will now flow naturally through presence. You will speak, and atmospheres will shift. You will walk into spaces, and darkness will scatter, not because of status, but because of the oil you carry. Chosen one, you must understand the mantle is not just honor, it is responsibility. It demands purity, humility, and surrender. It will require you to walk differently, speak differently, and respond differently. Those who once knew your weakness will soon witness your wisdom. Those who once doubted your calling will discern your transformation. You no longer move as one waiting for permission. You move as one commissioned. Your scars have become your credentials. The very places you once broke are now the portals through which heaven's power flows. Where there was pain, now flows compassion. Where there was shame, now flows strength. You are becoming a carrier of healing, a restorer of others, a vessel of divine authority. The mantle resting upon you is multidimensional. It is emotional, spiritual, and generational. It carries assignments connected not only to your destiny, but to those who will come after you. Every victory you win now becomes an inheritance for others. Your endurance has opened doors your children will walk through without resistance. The mantle makes you a bridge between what was and what will be. Chosen one. Don't mistake the weight you feel for weariness. It is the mantle settling upon your shoulders. You may feel an invisible heaviness lately, a holy gravity pressing upon your soul. That is not oppression, it is responsibility. Heaven is trusting you with more influence, more revelation, more reach. The world may never understand the cost, but heaven knows every tear that built this strength. When the mantle falls, it does not announce itself with thunder, it rests quietly, like dew on morning grass. You begin to notice that prayers flow differently. Words come with power. Peace follows you where chaos once lived. You sense heaven's nearness, not as a fleeting moment, but as a steady companionship. You are clothed in divine presence, and nothing will ever feel ordinary again. The old garments, the garments of shame, fear, and striving no longer fit. You cannot wear rags when heaven has clothed you in royalty. The season of surviving has ended. The season of reigning begins. The authority you now walk in is not self-made, it is God-given. Every step you take carries impact because it is guided by grace, not ego. And though you are being elevated, remember, humility must remain your foundation. The mantle is sustained not by pride, but by presence. The moment you forget who placed it upon you is the moment its power begins to fade. Stay rooted in gratitude. Keep your ear tuned to heaven's whisper. Let compassion guide your strength and gentleness guard your authority. Chosen one, wear your mantle well. It is not ornamental, it is functional. It exists not to glorify you, but to amplify the message of the one who called you. Through you, restoration will extend beyond your life, touching families, communities, and generations. You have become a conduit of divine continuity, a living reminder that God does not waste pain, and He never leaves His chosen ones empty-handed. So lift your head, mantle bearer. The fire that once tested you now glows within you. You are clothed in power, crowned with purpose, and anointed for impact. The world will see the evidence, but heaven already sees the fulfillment. Step forward, walk in it. The mantle of restoration rests on you now, and it fits perfectly. Chosen one. There comes a moment when heaven no longer keeps your victory private. The season of hidden growth gives way to public vindication, a divine unveiling where God reveals what He has been doing in silence all along. The same eyes that witnessed your breaking will now see your rising. The same lips that doubted you will one day speak of your deliverance. This is the hour when heaven says, "Show them what grace can do." You have walked through humiliation without retaliation, through accusation without defense. You endured when no one clapped, believed when no one agreed, and built when no one understood. Every quiet act of obedience was recorded in eternity. And now, the time of recompense has arrived. Vindication is not about proving your worth, it is about revealing God's faithfulness. You do not need to explain yourself. Heaven will explain you. The ancient words recorded in the book of Isaiah, chapter 61, verse 7, declare, instead of shame, double honor instead of confusion. Rejoicing, they inherit double everlasting joy. That promise is now breathing over your life. The double portion is not a metaphor, it is movement. What was stolen will return multiplied. The voice that once trembled in pain will speak with confidence. The shadows that once mocked your faith will bow to the light that surrounds you. God is rewriting your narrative in full view of the world. Chosen one. Public vindication often begins quietly. It's the sudden shift when people start remembering your name with respect instead of pity. It's the invitation that appears after years of rejection. It's the moment a door opens that no human hand can close. You may think it's random, but it's not. It's recognition. Heaven has spoken your name, and earth is responding. Your story is becoming a letter read by many. Not a tale of tragedy, but of transformation. People will look at you and see evidence that endurance is not wasted, that faith still works, that God still lifts the humble in due time. You will not need to boast. Your peace will speak for you. The stillness in your spirit will be louder than any argument you could make. When you share this message, when you like, comment, or share, you're not just spreading words, you're scattering seeds. Someone else, still walking through shame, will see your act of courage and realize that vindication is possible for them too. Your simple action can become their reminder that God still restores reputations, still redeems failures, still rebuilds what men have torn down. You become the living echo of grace. And if this word has stirred something deep within you, if you felt that gentle confirmation that this is your season of recognition, consider planting into it. When you donate, think of it as releasing a seed into sacred soil. You're not paying for blessing, you're partnering with purpose. Every drop of support keeps the river of truth flowing, allowing words like these to reach hearts hidden in despair. Your gift becomes a bridge for someone else's breakthrough. Imagine your offering as a lantern placed high on a hill. You might never meet those who find their way by its light, but heaven will record that it was your flame that guided them home. That is how God's kingdom multiplies one act of faith, one gesture of kindness, one moment of generosity at a time. Chosen one. Vindication doesn't always come through applause. Sometimes it comes through alignment. When peace settles, when opportunities flow, when the same places that rejected you now request you, that's divine justice speaking. The proof of God's favor is not in fanfare but in fruit. You are about to see results that silence rumors, blessings that correct lies, and peace that outweighs pain. There is beauty in allowing God to fight your battles. While others spent energy attacking, you spent energy healing, and that difference is now visible. You carry dignity that cannot be fabricated, light that cannot be dimmed, and credibility that cannot be purchased. This is the reward of those who let heaven handle their defense. Let gratitude be your posture as the tables turn. Vindication is not the moment to gloat. It's the moment to glorify. Every compliment, every open door, every testimony is an opportunity to point upward and say, "It was him." The greatest victory is not being seen. It's being seen as someone who still carries humility after promotion. So, as this message settles in your heart, let the world witness not just your rise, but your grace. Lift your head high, but keep your knees bent in reverence. You are living proof that silence does not mean defeat, and that patience still wins battles pride cannot. If these words have resonated in your soul, comment, "Grace wins." When you write it, you're not merely leaving a phrase, you're marking your agreement with heaven's verdict. You're declaring that the story ends not in revenge, but in redemption. Let your comment be the seal that says, "I choose grace over grudges. I choose peace over proof." Chosen one. Your time has come. The light is on you. The favor surrounds you, and heaven's hand rests upon you. Walk forward, not as one who must prove, but as one already approved. Chosen one. The air feels different now, doesn't it? There's a rhythm to your days that wasn't there before, an ease. A quiet abundance flowing through everything you touch. This is the season of overflow. You've moved from surviving to thriving, from waiting to walking in fulfillment. The rivers that once ran dry are flowing again. And not just enough to sustain you, but enough to bless everything connected to you. Overflow is not chaos. It's divine order spilling into every corner of your existence. It's when heaven's rhythm aligns perfectly with your obedience. You no longer strive for what is yours, you simply receive it. Blessings no longer chase you, they flow through you. This is the evidence that your restoration is complete. You have become a channel, not just a container. At first, you might feel overwhelmed. The same hands that once reached for crumbs are now holding abundance. But don't shrink back. This is not too much for you. It is exactly what was promised. You endured scarcity, not so you would fear increase, but so you would steward it with wisdom. God has expanded your capacity, stretched your heart, and refined your focus so that overflow doesn't drown you, it directs you. The apostle wrote in the second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 9, verse 8, God is able to bless abundantly, so you have all you need always, and you will abound in every good work. That is the heartbeat of your new reality, blessing with purpose. The overflow isn't aimless, it has assignment. The abundance you now hold isn't only provision for your life, it's provision through your life. You are being entrusted with more so that your hands can become instruments of heaven's generosity. Chosen one. Look around. Notice how the things that once drained you no longer hold power. The anxiety that used to bind you has lost its voice. The people who once misunderstood you now observe from a distance as peace marks your steps. The atmosphere has shifted because you have shifted. You no longer attract turmoil, you attract transformation. The overflow isn't just material, it's emotional, spiritual, relational. You wake up lighter because peace fills the spaces where worry used to live. You walk with a sense of certainty because the fear that once chased you has been silenced. This is what divine alignment feels like. When your soul and your purpose finally move in sync, the results are inevitable, fruitfulness in every direction. There was a time you prayed for just enough strength to endure. Now you carry strength enough to empower others. You were once desperate for encouragement. Now your voice comforts those still in their wilderness. You are living proof that pain does not end in poverty, it ends in plenty. The overflow in you is evidence that heaven keeps its promises. And yet, even in abundance, you remain grounded, because you remember the hunger, the emptiness, the silence that brought you here. Gratitude has become your foundation. Every blessing feels sacred because you know the cost of waiting. Every door that opens is approached with humility because you understand it's not just about opportunity, it's about obedience. Chosen one. Overflow will test you differently than lack did. Scarcity tested your faith. Abundance will test your stewardship. The same wisdom that helped you survive the drought must now guide you in the rain. Do not fear the magnitude of what is coming. You are not the same person who once prayed from desperation. You have matured. You have been entrusted. You know the purpose of every drop that falls into your hands. The overflow also reaches beyond you. Family lines are shifting. Generational curses are breaking. Those who come after you will not know the struggle you endured, because your obedience has rewritten their inheritance. You are the hinge between old cycles and new beginnings. Your yes to God has become the gate through which generations will walk freely. In this season, you will notice how favor multiplies without effort. Projects succeed without striving. Conversations open doors. Solutions appear before problems grow. This is the mark of overflow. It flows naturally, like rivers that have found their course. You no longer force outcomes, you follow flow. Chosen one, pause and take in the beauty of this season. You are standing in what you once prayed for, but more importantly, you have become the person you needed when you were waiting. The peace that overflows from you now is not accidental, it is inheritance. This is not the end of your story, it's the expansion of it. Overflow is heaven's way of saying, you have been faithful over little, now rule over much. What you carry now will spill into generations. You are not walking in excess, you are walking in evidence. Stand still for a moment. Breathe it in, and whisper gratitude. The river that once ran dry is flowing freely again, and this time, it will never run out. Chosen one. This is where everything begins to make sense, the final revelation of glory. Every unanswered question, every sleepless night, every detour that confused your soul, all of it now aligns into a single, divine pattern. What once seemed scattered has formed a mosaic of purpose, and in its center stands you refined, anointed, radiant. You are no longer walking as someone searching for meaning, you are walking as someone carrying it. The restoration was never only about what you lost, it was about what you would discover in the process, the unbreakable truth that God was with you the entire time. Every moment that felt abandoned was actually the construction site of destiny. Heaven wasn't punishing you, heaven was preparing you. Look back now, not with bitterness, but with understanding. The doors that closed, the people who left, the dreams that seemed to die, each one was a thread woven into the greater tapestry. Had one event gone differently, you would not stand here with this depth of wisdom, this clarity of vision, this maturity of heart. The path was not a mistake, it was a masterpiece. As the prophet wrote in the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 28, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. Those words are the essence of your journey. All things, not some, not most all. Even the moments you thought ruined you were being repurposed to reveal you. The pain you endured didn't just shape your story, it sculpted your character. You became a vessel fit for glory, one who can now carry the weight of divine purpose without breaking. Chosen one. You were never walking alone. Heaven watched as you learned to crawl through sorrow, stand through struggle, and run through resistance. Angels surrounded you, even when you felt unseen. Every sigh of your soul was heard as a prayer. Every step through darkness brought you closer to light. What felt like silence was God's strategy to strengthen your spiritual hearing. Now you understand why it had to unfold this way. Restoration was never about returning to the past, it was about becoming the future. The glory that now rests upon you could not coexist with who you used to be. You had to shed identities that were too small, beliefs that were too shallow, and attachments that were too temporary. You were being reborn through experience. Glory does not appear as lightning, it grows like dawn, slowly, steadily, It rises until the entire horizon glows. That's where you are now, the dawning of divine glory. You feel it in your peace, in your confidence, in your quiet assurance that nothing can separate you from the love that carried you here. You are no longer striving to prove your worth, you are resting in it. This revelation also carries responsibility. You have seen too much light to return to old patterns. The call on your life demands consistency, compassion, and courage. You are now a reflection of the glory you carry. When people encounter you, they encounter evidence of restoration, proof that God is still active in human stories. You are living scripture, an open letter of redemption written not in ink but in endurance. And yet, remember this truth: glory is not loud, it is luminous. It doesn't shout, it shines. It doesn't demand attention, it commands peace. Your presence will now bring calm where there is chaos, hope where there is despair, and faith where there is fear. That is how heaven's glory manifests through you. You may notice people drawn to you for reasons they can't explain. It's not your words, it's your essence. You carry a frequency of healing now. The same presence that restored you radiates through your being. This is not pride, it is purpose. You are meant to reflect divine beauty, to remind a weary world that resurrection is still possible. Chosen one. This final revelation is not an ending, it's a continuation. Restoration is not a single event, but an eternal rhythm. There will always be new levels of renewal, new layers of light. You have entered a covenant of constant becoming. What began in loss ends in legacy. The circle is complete. And yet the journey has just begun anew this time. From a higher place, stand in this glory, not as one who barely survived, but as one who has been completely transformed. Let the light that surrounds you be the same light that guides others. You are no longer merely the recipient of miracles, you are now a messenger of them. The world will see your story and understand that God still restores, still redeems, still reigns. You have walked through fire and emerged gold. You have faced storms and learned to dance in the rain. You have watched everything fall apart, only to witness how heaven rebuilds better than before. This radiant peace within you is what restoration fulfilled feels like. Chosen one. The journey is complete, and the glory is revealed. You are not who you were. You are who you were always meant to become. Chosen one. You have reached the end of this journey, but not the end of your story. What began in pain has unfolded into purpose. You have walked through loss, revelation, and renewal. And now you stand in fullness, restored, refined, and radiant. Heaven has not only returned what was taken, it has multiplied your faith, your strength, and your peace. You are proof that divine timing is never late, and that no season of silence is wasted. The same hands that held you through the storm now lift you into sunlight. You were not broken, you were built. You were not delayed, you were developed. And now, every step you take will echo with the sound of completion. Let this message settle deep in your heart. God has restored what you lost in ways you could never have imagined. Your story is no longer about what ended, but about what began in its place. The ashes have become beauty, the tears have become rivers, and the waiting has become wisdom. You are walking in divine alignment now. If this message has touched your spirit, share it so another weary soul might find hope again. When you like, share, or subscribe, You're not just engaging, you're extending light into the lives of others, still waiting for restoration. Someone's turning point might begin with the very word that reached you today. And if this spoke to your soul, leave a comment right from the heart. Your testimony, your gratitude, or even a single word of faith might be exactly what another chosen one needs to read tonight. The message continues through you. Carry it with grace. Speak it with faith, and walk it with courage. Restoration has come, and it carries your name.